offense is struggling a little bit, it's going 3 and out, do you have to adjust some of the defensive stuff you're doing just to account for fatigue and that sort of thing?
A little bit, yeah. You know, I've said this before, we've developed enough talent here through recruiting that we're able to rotate. I know a big fault of mine is to always want certain guys out there, you know, and sometimes I got to step back and understand that's not necessarily what's best for our team or our defense. You know, it's like with Eric Kendricks, I mean, an amazing football player, right? We love him, but I got to find ways to help him out, because if you routinely are getting 100 snaps a game, it's not good, you know, as far as the entire season is concerned regarding injury, but also in each particular game, you know, especially when we got a guy like Kenny Young, we got a guy like Isaac that can come in and give him a blow and actually give us a different look. So they just got to keep rotating our guys.
What type of stuff were you talking about specifically with Kendricks? I mean, he had one of the best games of the season against
right.
Colorado.
Which was reflected by a great week of practice out here. It was probably his best week of practice I've ever seen him have in Westwood. So he's a guy that's just, you know, you think he's got it and he just keeps getting better, you know, and he's just an amazing human being. He's really the reason that I've got into coaching. He's humble, he's hardworking, he's becoming a great leader, and he's obviously just keeps improving as a football player, you know. To think that he's a viable candidate for the Buckeyes that's a big deal. Yeah.
When you were with the 49ers, did they sub a lot?
No, but you got the
I guess I was a little older.
NFL's totally a different game. It's totally a different game because it's, for one, you got 45 guys that dress on game day, right? So you don't have a lot of backups, for one. For two, you're never taking 100 snaps, ever, in the NFL. You know, you got a running clock. You know, you don't have two-tempoed offense going against each other, you know? It's like, you know, we score, or it's, you know, we're off in a minute, you know, we're back on, you know? So it's a totally different game.
Tack McKinley didn't play quite as much this last game as he did against Cal. Was that just a matchup thing, or him?
A little bit of a matchup thing. A little bit of a, you know, in Cal, they gave us an opportunity to sub on third down. You know, Cal didn't, or Colorado didn't give us the opportunity to do that as much. You know, so what we've made an emphasis this week is to really get him up to speed on all of the calls. You know, whereas before we were trying to limit his package just so he could focus and hone in on a few things. But now that he's getting more comfortable with everything, so we can play him on virtually every down now.
Looking back at that Colorado game, is that a game where you could have used him a little bit more just to create pressures throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. The thing about Colorado is the ball gets out so quick. You know, their passing game is predicated upon quick game. You know, whether it's to the running backs or it's quick, short, intermediate throws. You know, so it's a deal where we hit them routinely. Did we sack them? No. I mean, there's a reason that they're averaging, you know, 1.5 sacks a game. You know, leading the Pac-12. And for a team that throws as often as they do, that's saying a lot. You know, it's saying a lot about their protection, also saying a lot about their scheme.
What have you seen on film of the new Solomon that's impressed you?
God, it does not get any easier in this conference. He's definitely brought a different facet to their offense. You know, he's a guy that's got now he's a true freshman.
I think redshirt
freshman still. Either way, it's just amazing to see his maturity and his understanding of this offense. The whole quarterback run pass option just goes to another level with this guy. You know, he's a guy that it really becomes like the quadruple option, because it's dive, it's pitch, it's quarterback run, and then on the run he can throw it. So it's you got to play with great discipline. You got to run your butt to the ball. You know, and we got to keep everything in front of us, make them earn every yard.
Is Rich Rad's offense just in general one of the harder offenses to game plan for in Pac-12 or any that you guys have faced?
Yeah, it's a combination. Obviously, he does a great job schematically, but at the same time, they got some really good players. You know, some receivers that are collectively very good as a group, and they roll a bunch. And what's underrated is their running game. I mean, shoot. Looking back at last year's tape, they ran for 255 yards on us. You know, and it's a product of spreading you out to make you think pass a lot of times, and all of a sudden here comes the run. And they got some running backs to do that again this year, and they got an offensive line that's been together for quite a bit. So it's going to be a challenge for all 11 guys in the field, no doubt.
Is it unusual to see an offense stay as successful as they've been from year to year despite cycling through different quarterbacks?
Yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, obviously the system speaks for itself, but at the same time, a great job recruiting and getting guys in there that can fill that role and understanding the type of guy that they want. So it's a huge credit to them and their offense.